I'm Parker Bos. I'm an applications engineer here at Mission. I've been here for about 3 years now as internships on and off through school. Been here full time since about May.
Yeah, I'm Roger Veldman, Hope College Engineering Department. I started out working in industry for about 8 years in the Holland area, doing automotive product development, and then I've been at Hope College now, teaching engineering for over 25 years. When I first started at Hope, I had come from industry and had done quite a bit of work in product development, and it was the kind of thing where they were looking for someone at the time. Timing was good. They were looking for someone to teach the design class, and they really wanted someone with some industrial experience so they can kind of bridge that gap between sort of the theory and then the practical applications of engineering. So I jumped in and have pretty much done that exclusively since I got there. So pretty much been a couple decades worth of work.
A brief overview of the project was we were tasked with doing a machine for career fairs, trade shows and stuff for Mission to show off capabilities on an interactive machine. So we started in a conceptual phase, going through coming up with brainstorming ideas for an interactive piece that get people excited about automation. Landed on the idea of a roulette machine through the help of some of the people here. Went through the whole design process, built it, programmed it, wired it, and debugged it to where it is now.
Yeah, this was a really unique project in the sense that it was probably one of the more challenging projects that we've ever taken on. The number of functions that the piece of equipment had to do, the level of finish, even appearance and aesthetics, because we knew it was going to be for a college career fair. We knew there was going to be a lot of eyes on it, so it had to look good as well as perform. And it also had to be very rugged and durable and kind of perform without any errors. So the bar was pretty high as far as function goes. So that to me really stands out as far as the demands. And I think the other super positive thing that came out of it was Parker's team of 3 students were very skilled students. I mean, they had a lot of internships under their belt before they came into the project, had a lot of skill set. And so working with Mission and the close mentoring of Mission, it really was a fantastic combination. I have to be honest, I was a little apprehensive up front. It was a pretty challenging project, and I wasn't sure how it was going to come out. But I think, again, with the student talent and with the Mission guidance and close mentoring, it really came out really well. I'm very, very pleased with the outcome.
So I think the biggest challenge we faced was probably the electrical side of things. We all had experience in building and programming and designing between the 3 of us. But one thing we were lacking in experience-wise was electrical. So there's some electrical stuff as far as safety circuits on there that were having problems. Had a significant amount of time into that, trying to figure that out. But then we had people here with controls engineers or electricians that were able to be like, hey, what's going on here? And they were able to jump in and kind of point us in the right direction, at least to try to figure it out.
Yeah, I think the exciting part of working with projects and student teams is that you really don't know the outcome. It's very open-ended, and so unlike traditional classroom instruction where there's one correct answer that you're trying to get to, design is very open-ended, and so you never know exactly how it's going to go. And I think that's one thing I like about it, which also is a little stressful because you don't exactly know the outcome before you start. But that's really the closest thing to real engineering design that I can imagine. And I also like to see the students grow throughout that process, through that year process. Sometimes students come in and have a lot of experience, like Parker and his team, and sometimes students come in with very little experience. And so no matter where you start, everyone is going to grow through that process. And so just to observe that is really enjoyable. And I think it's like I said, I think it's the closest thing to real engineering you can do while you're still in school. So I like that aspect. I think it's a great kind of a launching point for students to go out into their careers.
So I think the cool thing about the senior design project is your team does everything from start to finish. So versus here, I had some time design. So I had a whole summer here designing equipment. I had a significant amount of time building equipment as well. But some of the stuff where I never really got much exposure to, like electrical and controls, I was able to get more exposure to through this. So for the quoting process as an applications engineer, I'm talking with electricians and controls engineers, trying to understand what they're doing to get their costs accurate for them. So this was a good experience to kind of better understand that. Gave me kind of more of a hand up in that sense.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that without Mission's support, there's no way we would have been successful in the project. I think the mentoring, is really what stands out to me. Certainly the students did the work, put the hours in, but I think they had close mentoring all along the way, and especially you mentioned on the electrical side, wherever there was an extra help needed, I think there was support there, and I think that's really what's needed in a project like this. And I think, of course, the facilities, the ability to fabricate the device here and to use some of the software. I mean, I just think the infrastructure was all there from Mission. So, yeah, really from top to bottom, I think allowing the students to do the work, but then enabling them with all of the support that was needed all the way around. So, yeah, we couldn't be happier with Mission as a partner. That's about as good as it can get, I guess, from my perspective. So.
The support, like he said, was awesome. If you had questions, they'd be able to point you in the right direction. Yeah, and the equipment's all here, so if we needed to modify a machine to detail, I could hop on the Bridgeport on the shop floor and quick modify it versus having to send it back out to a fabrication shop to have someone else do it and wait for it. I could just do it quick myself, which was nice.
Yeah, I think senior projects are really important because it's possible that, again, like I said, Parker is a good example of someone who has taken advantage of a lot of internships and has a lot of practical experience getting into that senior year. But a lot of students haven't had that opportunity or haven't taken the opportunity. So really, before they go out and take on their first career role, I think it's really important for them to wrestle with the project, I think, from start to finish, all the way from the initial need statement all the way through delivery of a prototype. I mean, that's a tall order to ask of a student, but I think it's a good opportunity for them to really start and to do it in kind of a safe way, with people around them to guide them, and so that the next time they do it, when it's for real, then it actually, they have at least some experience having done that once. So I think it's very, very critical that students are involved in that.
It's super valuable to have that design experience going out into the real world. Working here, I was lucky to have some of that already. So I knew a little bit more what was going on when it came down to do the senior design project, but it's super useful to have that information, have that knowledge going into the workspace after graduation.
There's, I think, a sense when you go from traditional classroom instruction to maybe like a math class or a science class where things are pretty straightforward, and a design problem can feel very chaotic. And so I think the idea is to not panic when you feel like things are not completely under control. There's always going to be a sense of uncertainty as you go along. But try to really teach at Hope College the process of design so that there's certain phases you go through. Follow the phases, trust the design process as you go along, and don't worry if it's not perfectly laid out before you. You're going to hit obstacles, and then the question is how quickly and how are you able to respond to those obstacles.
Be creative. It's not black and white like your other classes. You don't have one right answer. You can think no idea is necessarily a bad idea. It can just help develop into an even better idea. So think creatively, and it can help you solve some of those issues, would be one of my pieces of advice. And my other piece of advice would be, like, once you have a design finalized, work as fast and as hard as you can right away, because you're going to run into challenges and you don't want to be one of the group scrambling at the end to try to make it work.
I would just like to say, how much I appreciate companies like Mission to partner with students. I mean, I know that it's not your main event, right? I mean, you have other things to do and paying customers. And so it's really an investment, I think, that Mission's making in upcoming generation and students like Parker and his team. And so we just appreciate that. And I think the quality of the experience these students got, it just couldn't be matched without the resources and the oversight of a company like Mission. So we just are super grateful for all that you've done. And we're proud of Parker and his whole team. And we're proud of the final outcome. We're proud of the device. We'd love to see it running. And certainly was a star of the show. We had an open house back in May and showed off all of the design projects. And I think it's fair to say that Parker's team really put an exciting device out there for all the visitors to kind of come and see. So again, just thanks very much for all the Mission has done for Hope and for Parker.